There are many different ways to adjust the colors in images using Lightroom, and one of the most underused and, if not unknown, methods of adjusting colors is using the calibration tools. And these are incredibly versatile and powerful, with the ability to remove color casts, to tweak the hue of colors, and also to apply creative color effects. The thing is, though, you might be thinking, well, I can do all of this with the HSL or hue, saturation and luminosity controls, which you can to a degree. But the difference between calibration and the HSL controls is that calibration adjusts the values of every pixel in the image depending on how much red, green or blue is in the pixel, whereas HSL adjusts a limited range of hue values within specific color channels. So there's so much that you can do with this, and with this image here, it's a little bit cold and I've warmed it up as much as I can using white balance. If I go any further, it just creates a color cast. And that's why the calibration tools are perfect for adjusting this image. So we're going to start off adjusting this image, and then we're going to look at a second one where we're going to work on it slightly differently, just so you can see two takes on how these controls work. So at the top we have the shadows tint slider, so we can add green or a kind of greeny cyan to the shadows, or we can move it over to the right and add magenta. So I'm going to take it over to +5 just to warm it up slightly, because I would like to make this image warmer and make the light look more as it did to the naked eye on the day. So I'm not really going to work with the red primary, because that is adjusting the boat quite heavily and I don't want to change the existing colors here. So I'm going to move over to the green primary and I'm going to take that over to the left to -70, and you'll see that the color of the grass, or the hue of the grass, is changing and it's becoming much warmer, so it looks like it's bathed in warmer light. And it's a tad kind of dull, so I'm just going to take the saturation over to +5. And then to finish off the shot, I'm going to go over to the blue primary. So you'll see if I take the image over to the left, it makes it redder, and then over to the right, it's kind of greeny purple in the sky, depending on where you're looking in the image. So what I'm going to do here is take that to -7 just to warm it up again, and then I'm going to take the saturation down to -7 as well. So if we just have a quick look at the before and after, so that's the before and that's the after. So it's a very subtle difference, but we've maintained the natural looking colors in the image, but we've enhanced them to make it look much warmer. So now we've done that, let's have a look at another image and see how we can use calibration to adjust that. So here is the second image, which is a macro shot of some ferns encrusted with frost. And the background here is a bit dull. So what I would like to do is make this background bluer or more cyan so that it balances off against the nice yellow kind of orange ferns. And you know, yellow and blue are complementary colors, so it will work really well. To get started, I'm going to work on the shadow slider again, and this time I'm going to take it over to the left and take it to -21. So you'll see there that we're just pulling a bit of the kind of bluishness or the cyan out of that background. I'm not going to work on the red primary just yet. I'm actually going to move over to the green primary, and then as you see there, pushing it over to the right, we're getting a bluer background but a slightly redder look in the ferns. If I take it over to the left, it's slightly different. So let's just take that over to +35, and then I'm going to go down to the blue primary, and if I take it over to the right there, it's making everything a bit too green, and then over to the left. So the background is looking really good there. So I'm going to take that down to -51. So now the background is roughly the color that I would like it to be, but the ferns have completely shifted and become more red. So that's why we're going to take a look at the red primary at this stage. So taking it to the left, it makes it more magenta. Then over to the right, it's becoming more orange. So that's closer to the original color, and that's what we want to maintain. So I'm going to take that over and keep pushing it until things look good. So I think about plus 65, and then it's certainly oversaturated. So let's just take the saturation down. Let's go for minus 58. So there, you'll see we've got natural looking ferns again. The background's become slightly desaturated, but what we can do here is increase the saturation using HSL. And you may be wondering why I wouldn't use the saturation in the blue primary, and as you'll see there, it does have quite a strong effect on the whole image, because as I said at the beginning of the video, these sliders have an effect on every single pixel in the image. So what we would like to do now is target the specific color channels. So I've gone down to saturation, and I'm just going to work on the aqua, and then I'm just going to take it over to plus 45, and there we have our end result. So we've maintained natural looking ferns, but the background has been made to look much colder than it was in the original shot.